Who is Too Much Coffee Man? Good morning to wherever you are. This is your Java Man, and today we're going to dive into the world of comics with Too Much Coffee Man. Now, before I get started, I want to say this is just an informational video about Too Much Coffee Man. Too Much Coffee Man is actually owned by Shannon Wheeler, Dark Horse Comics, and Boom Studios. Please support the official releases. Now, Too Much Coffee Man is a bit of a satirical superhero. Founded by Shannon Wheeler in 1991, Too Much Coffee Man has his own unique superpowers by the power of a whole ton of coffee and, well, cigarettes. Now, his coffee is made by a super strong espresso mix which he makes in his lab, which is above the cafe he spends way too much time in. This gives him I guess you could call it a superpower, which is a paranoid frenzy, which gives him the power to beat the absolute tar out of his enemies. It also gives him the power of insomnia and fried nerves from the immense amount of caffeine intake that he takes in. Too Much Coffee Man's costume is actually the red long john pajamas you used to see back in the day with the red butt flaps. Along with that, he has a huge coffee cup on his head. Now, we're not 100% sure if that is just a prop in the costume or if it's like super glued or even grown from his head, which gives him his super crazy powers. Along with Too Much Coffee Man is his overly cynical buddy, Too Much Espresso Guy, which is just a guy with a cup of espresso literally strapped on his head. Not sure if that is flattery or mutual insanity. Now, Shannon Wheeler brought Too Much Coffee Man as a mini comic in the book Children with Glue. Later on, he used the theme of Too Much Coffee Man in a college newspaper in Texas. Now, Shannon Wheeler was able to get this theme of alienation and loneliness through his cheap gag of Too Much Coffee Man because, well, people like coffee. It initially started as a one-page comic strip, which then got relegated to alternative weeklies throughout the United States. Now, in 2006, it had a bit of a title change, starting off with Too Much Coffee Man to How to Be Happy with Too Much Coffee, and then later being shortened to just How to Be Happy. From there, Too Much Coffee Man went on a bit of a hiatus for 2 years until 2008. Now, in other forms of media, back in 1994, Too Much Coffee Man must have made a huge impact with its 15-second comic first airing before Saturday Night Live. Along with the mutual advertising with Marvel, and Comedy Central began to take notice. In 2000 and 2001, Comedy Central and Shannon Wheeler started coming together trying to make a new animated series or special. However, this was abandoned because Shannon Wheeler and Comedy Central both realized that there was not enough quality in the script to actually launch a full show. In 2006, Shannon Wheeler decided to take his comic strip and reinvent it for opera. And this must have caused a huge buzz because Shannon Wheeler decided to team up with Carolyn Main, another Portland comic writer, and create a second act. Now, this second act, Too Much Coffee Man, The Refill, debuted in the same hall in Portland, Oregon 2 years later in 2008. Now, if you are still interested in Too Much Coffee Man, you can go to tmcm.com where Shannon Wheeler continues to post weekly comics. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was not an original idea. This was actually brought to me by the founder of Coffee Quips, a group on Facebook, which you can check out in the link in the description below, and also Paprika Podcasts. They brought to me this idea of comics and coffee, and I thought, man, that is a stinking great idea. I love me some comics and I love me some coffee. And I thought, why not? I actually really am interested in this and I wanted to dig in. So thank you so much for the ideas. Again, links in the description below. And if you want to check out TMCM, the Too Much Coffee Man comic website, I got that also in the link in the description below. If you have an idea for a video, whether it's a review it, coffee around the world, and even another like comic thing, I would love to actually explore and go deep into detail with that. So hey, like, comment, subscribe, and brew up some love for somebody.